Amy from Plans Meet Paper, and today I'm here to do some zone cleaning with you. I do plan on continuing to keep doing my zone cleaning here in 2018. So this is the first week of January and I'm in my zone 1. I do use a system that's very similar to the Fly Lady system, but I have tweaked it and changed it a little bit so that it fits my life and my home better. So I will put the Fly Lady's website, which is flylady.net, down below. So definitely check it out if you haven't heard of her system before or tried it out. She is awesome and there's lots of great resources on that website for you. Today I'm just going to be doing 15 minutes of zone cleaning here in my kitchen, which is zone 1 for me. And I'm just going to take you guys along with me and show you what kind of tasks that I'm doing. So here is my zone cleaning tracker that I'm using in my Filofax. This is a digital download that I designed that is available in my Etsy shop, Plans Meet Paper, so I will link that below if you're interested. And this is for my zone 1, so this is for the kitchen for me. And today I'm just going to pick out a few tasks to do and spend about 15 minutes just working through some different cleaning tasks in my kitchen. So the first thing that I'm going to do today is clean my stove, my oven, and my microwave. And as you can see, I do have a time column here on my printable as well. And I filled that out last year, but I wanted to go ahead and kind of update it and see how long everything is taking me now that I've been doing zone cleaning for a while. So as I go through my tasks today, I'm going to time them using my watch and then fill out how long it took me to complete that task, just for planning purposes in the future. So I'm just going to do real time with you guys today and kind of talk you through the different steps that I use when I'm cleaning these different items. So first I just wanted to show you what I'm using to do my cleaning today. I'm going to be using a bucket of warm water that has about a teaspoon of Dawn and about a 1/4 cup to a 1/2 cup of white distilled vinegar mixed in with the warm water. And I'm just going to be using a washcloth to use the solution to clean off my stovetop and my microwave. Since it's just dish soap and vinegar, it is very safe to use in the kitchen, but still gets things nice and clean. So that's what I'm going to be using for a lot of my different cleaning tasks today. All right, so I've got my stopwatch here and I'm going to go ahead and start it and start cleaning my stovetop. So there we go. So first thing I'm going to do is just take these grates off. And that way I can clean the underneath. The grates themselves I'll wipe down as well using the soapy water. This stovetop is not new. We're in a rental house and it does have some kind of permanent damage where it's got some things that have been, I don't know, like degrading the surface here. But I just get it as clean as I can. I always try to remember with the Fly Lady system, and that's one of the things I like so much about it, is that it's not about perfection, it's just about maintaining your home as best you can on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. So that's what I like about kind of doing things in zones and just doing a little bit every day, is it helps me not worry so much about having everything perfect, but just making sure that I'm keeping up with it. So I just use this sudsy water, and you can see it's not super sudsy this time. I find sometimes when I make it super sudsy with the dish soap, it makes it harder to get it all the way off and it ends up leaving some residue. So that's why I just use a little bit of dish soap and then I add the vinegar in there as well. I think the vinegar helps really sanitize everything, and it also makes it so that it leaves a nice shine afterwards and it doesn't leave any soap residue. So just gonna wipe everything down as best I can. And then once I feel like I've got it all the way wiped down with the soap and vinegar, I'm just going to use this dry cloth to wipe it all down and dry it, and that way it leaves a nice shiny finish, or as shiny as it can be considering it's a little bit damaged. While I'm wiping down the stovetop, I'm also going to take a few seconds to kind of dust off the display up here. Make sure there's no food stuck on there as well. I'm not seeing any this time that has splattered up there that hasn't been wiped off. But if there was any, I could definitely just use that vinegar, water, soap solution to get that off as well. And so there's the stovetop cleaned off. I'm also going to use my sudsy water. Let me scoot you guys over here to just briefly wipe down the grates. Again, they're not going to be perfect. They're not new, so they, definitely have some wear and tear, but just make sure that they're nice and clean and don't have any food or anything left on, so just wipe them down. And I do like to do this on the counter rather than back on the stovetop, just in case any dirt or anything comes off. It falls onto the counter, not onto the clean stove that I just wiped down. And the counter is a little bit easier to wipe off than the stove is. So I always wipe down my grates on the counter, not on the stove. And just wipe down this other one. This washcloth is not a microfiber, it's just a regular dishcloth. Since this material is kind of rough, and so is the stovetop since it's been damaged a little bit, I find if I use microfiber, I feel like it leaves some little pieces of fuzz behind since it's kind of a rough material. And so instead of doing that, I just use a regular dishcloth so there's no residue. All right, all wiped down and kind of just dry them off briefly here. I will just let those mostly air dry while I do the other things here, since there's so many nooks and crannies. All right, next I'm gonna do the microwave. So we'll scoot you over. All right, so inside my microwave, it's not super dirty. There isn't any cooked on food right now. Most of the time, since it's just me and my husband, we're pretty good about wiping things down as we cook, as we use it, or covering things. Usually we cover things, so that way it doesn't get a bunch of stuff splattered on. But if you have kids, or if your microwave just is dirty this time, I would highly recommend use some water and lemon juice, or just plain water, or with vinegar. You can really use a bunch of different things, but put something in there and turn it on for 3 or 4 minutes to kind of steam up the microwave a little bit, and it will let some of that cooked on food kind of loosen up if that is in your microwave this time around. But again, I'm just going through my microwave and wiping it down with my vinegar, soap, and water solution, just to make sure it's all fresh and to keep up with it. All right, so there is the inside of my microwave wiped out. I'm also going to dry it off a little bit, especially the inside of the door, because that way it'll be streak-free. Again, I think the vinegar really helps with making it shiny at the end. Also, I've had people ask before if when I use vinegar, with cleaning if everything smells like vinegar afterwards. And I personally don't think it does very much. I don't use a ton, like I'm not using straight vinegar or something. So it's pretty diluted to begin with. And also with the dish soap in there, that has a slight scent, so it kind of dilutes the scent a little bit more. And also I think vinegar just dissolves very quickly. So it, you know, after 5 minutes, it's like you can't even smell it anymore. So it does not bother me in the least. And it's one of the best things to use in your kitchen because it is so safe. It's not totally non-toxic, and obviously it's safe to consume. So it's definitely safe for cleaning. I'm just kind of wiping down the outside of the microwave with my towel as well. I am going to use some stainless steel spray here in a second, but I just got the dust off with the towel first. I'm going to do the oven handle and the knobs there, and then also the inside of the oven door. So these knobs, I don't know about in your kitchen, but I feel like they're always just a little bit grungy by the end of the month in my kitchen. So I make sure that I wipe those down each time I do my zone cleaning. And again, I like a regular dishcloth for this because since it's not quite as soft as a microfiber, it just kind of scrubs a little bit better on these knobs. And just wiping those down. All different little nooks and crannies. Oops. Trying not to turn the stove on while I'm at it. Get all the gaps between the knobs as well. And the oven handle. Anywhere where hands touch, I feel like it's a good idea to just do a quick wipe down at least once a month. So, wiping those down and gonna shine them after wiping. All right, so there's my knobs all done. Again, with the oven door, let me scooch it down a little bit here. It doesn't get super dirty because I do cover things if they're gonna be splattering most of the time, and I do make a conscious effort to wipe it down each and every month so it doesn't get super dirty in here. But I'm just gonna go ahead and wipe it down. If you've got more burnt on food inside your oven, this solution is not going to be strong enough to get it all off. So you'll want to try something much stronger, like, I don't know, there's lots of oven cleaners on the market. I've used one called Greased Lightning before, and it is definitely not as safe as vinegar to use. It is toxic, I would say, but you'll want to make sure you rinse it very well after, but it does get cooked on food off super well, Greased Lightning. But I don't use it on a monthly basis just because it's not necessary if things aren't super cooked on. And if you just have a little bit of residue, one thing that might work is just using this soap and vinegar solution and kind of laying it on there and then letting it sit for a few minutes. And it will actually take off some burnt on food if you just let it sit. So that's what I'm gonna do just for a few minutes. Time update here. I've used 11 minutes and 54 seconds. So I'm gonna write that over on my tracker. All right, so I'm gonna start over here, close to the oven. This drawer right here is the silverware drawer, and then these are some of my pots and pan cabinets. So those all get used a ton, which means I try to wipe them down every month. Those are some of the first ones that I get to since they get used so often. And again, I'm using my same soap, water, and vinegar solution to wipe them down. I'm gonna go ahead and start my timer here and see how long it takes me just to get done a few of these cabinets today. So here's my timer. There we go. All right, so I wipe them down with the soap, vinegar, and water, and then I just dry them with a dry cloth. And they do help take off any food residue that's gotten on there, or fingerprint smudges, or anything like that. It takes it right off and keeps the cabinets looking super fresh. This solution, I think, also works fairly well even on like the cabinet right above my oven, which that one tends to get probably the dirtiest of them all. I think just from having oil and things that's being cooked down below and the vapor rising up. So it works pretty well in that cabinet as well and helps take off any residue that's on there too. And I just wipe down all the corners and edges. I try to get especially right around these couple edges, inside edges and top edges, because as you can see, my cabinets and drawers at this house do not have knobs. So we're grabbing on the edge of the cabinet or the edge of the drawer to open it. So that's where all the hands touch. So I try to focus on those areas the most. Okay. I'm also going to do these couple of cabinets and drawers today. This is the cabinet right below my kitchen sink. So again, it's one of the ones that tends to get the dirtiest and that needs to be wiped down every month with water and stuff dripping down while I'm doing the dishes. They tend to get some spots. So I'm just going to wipe them all down. And dry them off good. These drawers have all of our like trivets and hot pads and dish towels, and also where we keep our lunch boxes and Ziploc baggies. So again, these get used pretty much every day at some point, if not multiple times a day, and therefore they have to be wiped down every month. Again, I'm focusing the most on the areas where we touch the drawers the most, so right on these top edges. Alright, so I just finished with my cabinets and I closed up my oven door after drying off the inside, and I'm at right about 4 minutes. So that means I've used 16 minutes today, and I can go ahead and stop if I want to, but I am going to do one more quick thing. Things always take me a little bit longer than 15 minutes, especially when I'm filming, just since I'm talking through everything and resetting up the camera and everything like that. So what I'm going to do with my last couple minutes is use this microfiber cloth and my Weiman stainless steel spray to wipe down the outside of my oven and also the outside of the microwave up there. While I'm at it, I'm also going to do the front of the dishwasher since it's made out of the stainless steel as well. And that should bring me up to about 18 minutes or so, and that way it's close to 15, especially with filming time. And then I'm going to call it a day. So I'm going to use my spray here. And I've found that this stainless steel spray does pretty good at polishing the glass on the front of my oven too. So I don't worry about trying to avoid that area. I just polish it as well right when I'm doing the stainless steel, and it doesn't leave any streaks or anything, at least using this product with a microfiber cloth. One thing that I always try to keep in mind when I'm polishing stainless steel is to go in the direction of the grain. That helps to make it the most shiny and leave the least smudges. And for things like the microwave and the oven, since they have pretty small area of stainless steel, I just spray the Weiman cleaning solution directly onto the cloth, and then, like I said, polish in the direction of the grain. Polishing up the glass as well. Since the dishwasher has a little bit more area, I just spray it directly on the dishwasher. And I feel like I can never get all the streaks off of stainless steel. I'm not sure why they call it stainless, because there's always seems to be stains on it. But it's all good. At least I know that it's clean and it is as shiny as it can be. So that's good with me. So that's it for my zone cleaning today. I spent about 18 minutes total, including the time it took me to move around the camera. So I'm gonna call that a win. I spent about 12 minutes doing my oven, stove, and microwave, and then about 5 to 6 more minutes doing some polishing and wiping down on my cabinets and the outside of those appliances. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.